So talk to me though, Johnny, real quick. Now you said seller financing, 20 units. What? That's it. I like that. That's music to my ears. So
Man,
so yeah,
exactly.
what was that deal? Lay that deal out for me, man.
Yeah, so purchase price. So that was the great thing. So relationships. We had bought two assets from this individual last year, working through with this other one. He had a minority owner who was a hedge fund who owned about 25% ownership in the deal.
Okay.
So it made it drag out, but having that relationship, going through a lot of back and forth negotiations, and so
Mhm.
we ended up with a 3-year term, well, actually 2-year term with a 1-year option,
Okay.
7% interest rate.
Mhm.
That third year we execute that 1-year option, it goes to 8%, and
Mhm.
I think the monthly payment is around $8,400 a
Okay.
month. We bought it. The rents were around 620 a unit for the 12 units. And so we were going to, so it comes in, the NOI, the net operating income was running about 35% expenses, which ended up
Uh-huh.
producing about $96,000 a year in income.
That's 8,000 a month.
Yeah, yep, 8,000 a month. But
Mhm.
the value add piece is it was 620, the market rent is 950. And so without doing
Mm.
without doing any additional renovations, that in the first 90 days, we're increasing the rents $150 across the
Yes.
units. And so now you're able to bring in an extra $36,000 a year by just doing that one
Mhm.
move, not charging the residents for water and trash. We're going through
Mm.
gradually increasing. We're not just going in and say, "Hey, you owe us $300 more a month,"
Right.
but actually gradually going in because the market rent is 950. If you leave and go somewhere else, you're gonna be paying 950 because that's the market.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
so it's still, yeah, still showing them favor in that situation too.
100%,
Mhm. Mhm.
100%. And so going in over gradually, we implemented the business plan. And the cool part was this: that we bought the hedge fund out. So the seller brought in 150K to the deal. We brought in
Okay.
40K to the deal. And so we bought out their $400,000 position for a total of 190,000. So when we
Mm.
refinance this thing, we're actually gonna get back $80,000 as being the owner. We're the
In your
owner
pocket.
in our pocket,
Yes.
and
Yes,
we
and the
and
owner.
we put 40 in up front. And so
So it
that
only cost you 40,000. And so what are you gonna cash flow on that after you, raise the rents and a couple other profit points?
Yep. So that 36,000 will all go towards the cash flow. So you break that down.
Mm.
So additional 3K a month after paying the mortgage. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna blend that with an overall portfolio we got there in the Montgomery area.
Ooh, blended. I love it.
Yeah, a total of 96 units that we're gonna refinance here in the next 6 months.
Mm. So what's your blended interest then on it?
The blended interest across all three properties, we have a 40 unit at 9.5. We got a 12 unit at, I think that was at 12, and that was an 18-month hard money term. And then the other one we have with him, the same one where we had a 7% interest rate that we had
That
on
brought
the
it down.
24 unit that we bought from the same one.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I have a blended interest calculator that I use for my properties, when buying them, how and taking over loans, what is my blended interest rate that just takes them all together, gives that average. And then also on our selling, when we sell, we're charging interest. What's the blended interest? So guys, when you start talking about blended interest, now you talking about millions, you're not talking about hundreds of thousands anymore. It's not even worth talking about it if it's just six figures.
Right.
So, I mean, that's true. That's just true. There ain't no need to talk about blended interest unless you're talking about millions of dollars. And I like talking about money, y'all. Y'all already know this, but but that's a big old bag of money right there. And it really was. I mean, I guess the hardest parts from my perspective, my point of view on your situation would have been just the waiting and the negotiating and the little turns and changes and things like that throughout that time period. And then the other hard part, from my perspective, again, it would have been, for me, it's really kind of not even hard when you look at it. It's actually glorious. The learning, the journey that it took for you to learn that knowledge and have those tactics and those strategies to be able to come in and look at a situation and see all of that money just sitting there just sitting there waiting on somebody. That's all it was. It was just sitting there waiting on
Yep.
somebody to come in and say, hey, here it is. This is what we can do. And then it only cost you 40 G's. Now I just talked about 3 properties that we got that I'm in, about it's about 38,000. So that's a heck of a deal there. Now the 40 was for the 20 units, right? That
Correct.
piece. Okay, because it's a what is it over? Is a 90 unit, 98 units with that
96
same
total.
owner? Okay. Okay. See, y'all, you got to understand this. And guys, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. We'll be answering some questions shortly. Now I could talk to Johnny all day. I just had to look at my watch. Now I'm like, is it
Okay.
1:30? Because that time flies now when you're talking about money. So,
Right.
so with that, this was one person that owned all of those units, and they came out at separate deals. You did this with a student of yours as well, right, Reggie?
Yep, 100%. The we did, but one of the 40 units was from a different owner. So, but they had the same property management
Ooh,
company, and their
okay.
relationship. When they heard that we wanted to buy the 40, he was like, "Hey, I want to sell too." And it's crazy, man. Just the conversations that if you're not having conversations with people, you're not building relationships. One deal, one relationship, one connection that owns a portfolio that that finds favor on you and say, "Hey,
Mhm.
yep, I want you. I want to sell or finance this for you. I want to sell or finance for this. I want you to take over this. My family doesn't care about this real estate." The next 10
Mm,
years, there's going to be so much turnover in this space that it is crazy the potential for wealth building.
yes.
And we're gonna be right here for it, and we're gonna be helping a whole lot of people. But yeah, this deal came directly from my client Reggie. He built a relationship with his seller,
Hmm.
going through that process of finding the first deal and reaching out, sending a certified letter.
Hmm.
After it was
Hmm.
somebody was shopping the deal around and didn't even have it under contract. And I'm like, we like the asset. I'm like, man, I like that asset. I like reach out to the owner. Let's see if if he's really willing to sell and have a conversation
Yeah.
with the guy. And lo and behold, he was ready. And then,
Hmm.
come to find out, get ready to close on the 40 unit, that the other owner reaches out to us and says, "Hey, I heard y'all buying my guy's thing." He's like, "Hey, I want to sell too." Both of them were the original owners, had owned it for
Ooh,
25 years. They weren't even old assets.
that's
And
a dream.
we're talking about something built in a 97, 98, all
Yeah.
brick 2-story apartment complex. It's like you
Mm.
can't make this stuff up. And being able to buy it
Ooh.
for 55,000 a door and rent it for,
Mm.
come on.
And now when Johnny says buy it at 55,000 a door, he didn't come out his pocket. That
No.
55,000. Money is really energy.
Yeah.
Honestly, because it's made up like that, and that's what happened with Johnny's deal, right? We make up that money, so the seller financing portion was made up money based off of the value that Johnny was able to bring the sellers, the original owners. I mean, Lord have mercy. So we just put the money on paper and on terms because we have
Yes.
to perform. We have to perform a particular service in a particular way in order to live up to those terms. So they're really betting on us at that point, if you think
Yep.
about it. And I talk about this, with my community all the time, is that we have to have confidence in our competence, right? We've got to have confidence in our competence. That's what allows us to walk through life effectively.